All right, so today we're diving deep into inner sensitivity.
Yeah.
We've got this fascinating chapter from pure consciousness taking on the way inside.
Okay.
And it's all about understanding the power of noticing those subtle shifts within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it like an internal compass, always guiding you towards a better understanding of you.
What's fascinating here is we often focus so much on the external world
Yeah.
that we forget about the incredible landscape within.
Right.
This chapter really emphasizes how tuning into your inner sensitivity
Yeah.
can unlock a whole new level of self-awareness.
It uses that compass analogy,
Uh-huh.
and I think it's a powerful one.
Yeah.
Just like a compass points us in the right direction, geographically, inner sensitivity can guide us through the ups and downs of our own internal world.
Absolutely. And what I found particularly interesting is how the chapter emphasizes inner sensitivity as the essential connector
Yeah.
between all our other internal tools.
Okay.
We think about reason,
Yeah.
imagination, intuition. They all rely on our ability to notice those subtle changes within.
That makes sense. It's like inner sensitivity is the foundation upon which everything else is built.
Yeah.
But how does this play out in our day-to-day lives? How can we actually use this inner sensitivity to navigate the real world?
Well, imagine you're facing a difficult decision. You've weighed the pros and cons,
Mm-hmm.
but you still feel uncertain.
Right.
This is where inner sensitivity comes in.
Okay.
It can act as a barometer, helping you gauge whether a particular choice resonates with your deepest sense of self.
So it's about checking in with ourselves and asking,
Yeah.
does this feel right? Does this align with my values and aspirations?
Exactly. And sometimes that inner knowing might contradict what logic or reason is telling you.
Oh,
That's why the chapter delves into the complex relationship between intuition and prejudice.
wait, hold on. How can we tell if we're truly tapping into our intuition or if we're just falling back on old patterns and biases?
Yeah.
That seems incredibly tricky to disentangle.
It definitely takes practice and a willingness to question our own assumptions.
Sure.
The chapter points out that using inner sensitivity to discern between intuition and prejudice is a skill that develops over time.
So it's not like we're born with this perfect inner compass that always points us in the right direction.
Right.
We have to hone our ability to interpret those signals.
Precisely. It's about learning to recognize the nuances of our inner world,
Okay.
to differentiate between those whispers of genuine intuition and the louder voices of ingrained beliefs.
It sounds like there's a real art to this.
Mm-hmm.
And the chapter seems to suggest that paying attention to our bodily sensations is a crucial part of developing that inner sensitivity. Is that right?
Absolutely. The chapter highlights how bodily sensations are the most direct and undeniable aspect of our inner experience.
Okay.
Unlike deciphering intuition from prejudice, which can be very subtle, our physical sensations are often clear and unambiguous.
Okay, that makes sense. If you feel your heart racing,
Yeah.
something is triggering a stress response.
Right.
It's a physical manifestation of what's going on internally.
Yeah.
But how do we connect those physical sensations to the broader landscape of our inner world?
Right.
Like, how do we go from noticing a racing heart to understanding what that actually means for us emotionally and mentally?
That's where the real work begins. And that's what makes this whole exploration of inner sensitivity so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's not just about noticing what's happening in our bodies.
Great.
It's about understanding how those sensations connect to our thoughts,
Okay.
emotions, and even those deeper, more subconscious patterns that shape our perceptions.
So it's about becoming aware of the entire symphony playing within us.
Yeah.
From the subtle hum of our breath to the soaring melodies of our dreams and aspirations. And all of that is accessible through paying attention to our inner world.
Exactly. And what's even more remarkable is that as we cultivate this inner sensitivity,
Yeah.
we not only gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, but also begin to perceive a connection to something larger than ourselves.
Now that's where things get really interesting. Are you talking about that concept of a universal consciousness
Yeah.
that the chapter touches on?
Yes. And it's here that things become a bit more philosophical, a bit more open to interpretation.
I have to admit, this idea of a universal consciousness is intriguing,
Yeah.
but also a bit mind-boggling.
Mm-hmm.
Is the chapter suggesting that by tuning into our own inner world,
Yeah.
we're somehow tapping into a larger interconnected web of consciousness?
It's a fascinating proposition, isn't it?
Yeah.
The chapter doesn't delve too deeply into this concept,
Okay.
but it does invite us to consider the possibility that our individual consciousness isn't as isolated as we might think.
So it's more of an open question,
Right.
something for us to ponder as we continue to explore our own inner sensitivity.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the things that makes this chapter so compelling.
Yeah.
It offers practical tools for cultivating self-awareness while also acknowledging the deeper mysteries that lie beyond the realm of our immediate understanding.
Okay, so let's bring it back down to earth for a moment. If someone is listening to this and thinking,
Yeah,
all right, this inner sensitivity stuff sounds interesting,
sure.
but how do I actually start developing it?
hmm
What would you say? What are some concrete steps they can take?
Well, the chapter emphasizes that cultivating inner sensitivity is an ongoing process, a journey of self-discovery.
Right.
It's not a destination you arrive at, but rather a path you continue to walk throughout your life.
I like that it takes the pressure off needing to achieve some kind of inner sensitivity mastery.
Yeah.
More about the exploration itself.
Precisely. And one of the simplest yet most profound practices the chapter recommends is paying attention to your breath.
Okay.
Throughout the day, take a few moments to simply notice the rhythm of your breath, the rise and fall of your chest.
It sounds so basic, but I can see how that could be incredibly grounding.
It is because when you focus on your breath, you're bringing your attention back to the present moment.
Right.
You're shifting your awareness inward, away from the constant chatter of the mind and the distractions of the external world.
It's like hitting the pause button on all the noise and chaos,
Yeah.
giving yourself a chance to reconnect with that inner stillness.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
from that place of stillness, you can begin to notice all the other subtle sensations and shifts happening within you.
Yeah.
The tightness in your shoulders, the fluttering in your stomach, the gentle warmth spreading through your limbs.
It's like we're training our attention to become more inward focused, more attuned to the nuances of our internal experience.
Precisely. And as you practice this, you'll find that your capacity for inner sensitivity expands.
Yeah.
You'll become more aware of your emotions, your thoughts, and those deeper intuitive nudges that guide you towards your authentic self.
It's like you're developing a whole new language, the language of your own inner world.
And the more fluent you become in that language, the more easily you'll be able to navigate the complexities of your own life and your interactions with the world around you.
So it's not just about self-awareness.
Right.
It's also about understanding how our inner world shapes our outer world and vice versa.
Absolutely. The chapter highlights how inner sensitivity can enhance our relationships,
Okay.
improve our decision-making, and even deepen our sense of purpose and meaning in life.
So that's powerful.
Yeah.
It's like this whole conversation is about learning to listen to that inner voice that's always there, guiding us toward a more fulfilling and meaningful existence.
It is. And that inner voice, that inner sensitivity is more powerful than we often realize.
It sounds like developing inner sensitivity isn't just a personal journey.
Yeah.
It's also a path toward greater connection and understanding in the world.
I think that's a beautiful way to put it. And if this chapter has taught us anything,
Right.
it's that the journey inward is ultimately a journey outward
Yeah.
toward a more compassionate, insightful, and interconnected way of being in the world.
This deep dive into inner sensitivity has been truly eye-opening.
I agree. It's amazing how much wisdom we can uncover when we take the time to explore our inner landscape.
And what I find particularly encouraging is this chapter suggests anyone can cultivate inner sensitivity. It's not some esoteric skill reserved for mystics or spiritual masters. It's something we can all access and develop.
That's right. It's about making a conscious choice to turn our attention inward, to listen to the subtle whispers of our body, heart, and mind.
So as we wrap up, I'm curious, what's one thing our listeners can take away from this conversation and apply to their lives today? Something tangible they can do to start nurturing their own inner sensitivity.
I would say start with a simple practice of mindful observation. Next time you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, pause for a moment and notice what's happening in your body. Where do you feel the tension? What sensations are present? Don't judge those sensations. Simply observe them with curiosity.
That's a great suggestion. It's about becoming aware of those physical manifestations of our emotions, those signals our body is sending us.
Exactly. And as you practice this, you'll start to notice patterns. You'll begin to understand how your body responds to different situations, different thoughts, different emotions.
It's like you're creating a map of your inner world, a guidebook to understanding your own unique responses to life's challenges.
And with that map in hand, you'll be better equipped to navigate those challenges with grace and resilience. You'll be able to make choices that are more aligned with your true self and create a life that feels more authentic and fulfilling.
This has been such an insightful exploration of inner sensitivity. It's reminded us of the incredible power we have within to understand ourselves more deeply and to live with greater awareness and purpose.
And remember, this journey of self-discovery is ongoing. It's something we can continue to explore and deepen throughout our lives.
Exactly. So as you go about your day, I encourage you to pay attention to those subtle shifts within yourself. Notice what your body is telling you. Listen to the whispers of your intuition and embrace the mystery and wonder of your own inner world. Until next time, keep diving deep.